Old is a bad movie.
What do you wish you knew earlier in your career that you've learned as you've made all your projects?
Wow, what a great question. That the thing that at times makes it dissonant in its immediate consumption at that moment, that thing is not necessarily a bad thing, and oftentimes is the wonderful thing about it that makes it.
We are introduced to a family taking a vacation.
From your food and beverage preferences you selected, we've made you cocktails to welcome you. Can you believe I found this?
They are a couple. She's the mother and he's the father. While their children meet the local kid.
I'm Idlin. My uncle's the resort manager here. Hi, I'm Trent. This is Idlin. What are your names and what do you do for a living?
I'm Greg Mitchell. I'm a cop.
He is Greg Mitchell and he is a cop.
I don't have friends. I'm your friend. You'll leave.
Greg Mitchell. Meanwhile, we meet other families, including the amazing schizophrenic doctor, the amazing calcium deficiency model, and
I'm a nurse. My name is Jaren. It's Jaren, by the way.
And the amazing epileptic seizures woman. Nothing else is relevant in these characters.
There's a private beach on the nature preserve side of the island. I only recommend it to certain guests. I could arrange a van to take you.
They go along with the amazing family.
That's a lot of food. Well, kids eat a lot of food.
They enter the place with no problems.
That's mid-sized sedan!
Eventually, they find a dead body.
I was waiting for her. She swam out by herself, yo.
They try calling the police.
No reception at all.
Immediately, more people arrive.
Something's wrong with your mother. She's asking for you, honey.
They try escaping, but they can't.
You stumbled back out. You were holding your head. You looked like you were in pain, babe.
You guys just walked away and she just stopped breathing all of a sudden.
They try to leave the place again. Eventually, everyone tries and fails again.
I think what I kind of like preparing for the role and building Maddox, what I focused on in terms of the trying to keep the continuity between the younger version and the older version. I just wanted to get to know both actresses, Beth and Alexa, and get to know them and see what kind of energy they were bringing to Maddox and trying to kind of reflect that in my performance as well.
Why are you looking at me like that?
The mother explains that she has a tumor, only for the wound to be immediately healed. Therefore, they decide to operate her. That's not going to get infected. No way. Also, from this point forward, everything in their deductions is absolutely correct. Immediately, they discover that the corpse has turned into bones.
The flesh will be gone in approximately 7 years.
Hey, something is going on with time on this beach.
Half an hour is equivalent to something like 1 year of our lives.
Wouldn't that mean that the wound was opened for several days? How did it not get infected?
Shouldn't they be growing at an abnormal rate?
Maybe it has to do with the fact that the cells in hair and nails are dead and they aren't reacting in the same way.
But the cells producing them are alive. The hair doesn't grow by itself, it is produced. And if it doesn't affect dead tissue, why did the corpse turn into bones?
Kids are eating so much because their mass is growing. We're staying roughly the same mass. Our cells are just aging.
Wouldn't they constantly need to eat almost every minute? Don't you need to sleep or take a shit? By this point, they realize that it has something to do with the rock.
Then us trying to leave is like swimming to the surface too fast after being deep in the ocean. Our bodies can't reacclimate.
But if this were true, then nobody would have been able to get to the beach in the first place without experiencing the same effect. Considering that you need a suit to dive deep into the ocean, they wouldn't even survive there.
Do it over 8 to 10 hours. Let our bodies acclimate. Who would be willing to give up 20 years of their life trying?
Okay, but if you don't do it, you die, right?
Kara, what did you do?
Wouldn't she have needed an enormous amount of food for the baby?
We had him on the towel for 1 minute. He died from lack of attention.
Things are moving too fast here for a baby to survive.
If the baby died from just a few minutes of neglect, every character should have needed to be eating constantly to survive. Anyways...
He's gone.
Why didn't the cuts heal immediately?
Everything will be okay.
Why?
I was on the swim team. I'll make it.
Suddenly, they have a realization.
Someone in each group was sick. They know our medical condition.
They have our passports. We could just disappear. They can make it look like we never left our house.
Does that mean erasing the memory of every person they have ever known? Don't they have family or friends or co-workers that will notice that someone is missing? How could you cover up the disappearance of a famous person?
Wait, what if you get dizzy up there? You might black out.
In the arms of the...
Things start to get out of control. The amazing epileptic seizures woman dies of seizures. Their parents start losing their senses.
How to depict aging without it being kind of gimmicky, and I'm staring at so-and-so actor in prosthetics without it becoming that, which it pulls me out.
During the night,
He wrote down a list of all the names and the addresses of the people with him on the beach.
oh man, that's just great. Why?
It's rust! It acts like poison when it gets into your bloodstream.
If the doctor is infected by a cut from a rusty knife, the wound during the operation should have become infected too. If wounds heal immediately because of time, wouldn't it mean that this wound was opened for several days? The model turns into a pretzel. The parents die. Would it have killed you to try to acclimate again? The next day. Did they sleep? Why did Trent grow facial hair?
What about her hair and nails? Shouldn't they be growing at an abnormal rate?
Maybe it has to do with the fact that the cells in hair and nails are dead.
What happened to her eyes? Eventually, they find a note to the code. That's great. That's awesome. They swim to the coral. It's time for the plot twist. It's revealed that there is a secret corporation behind it all.
All rooms for this trial have been cleared. Home computer devices have been wiped.
So are the memories of whoever knew them.
Because of this beach, we have been able to save hundreds of thousands of lives with new medicines.
Why are you explaining this to them now?
It was a woman with the epileptic seizures. The medicine we gave her when she arrived turned out to be the exact mixture. We cured her of her epilepsy.
Didn't you see how she died?
We were meant to test medicines in 1 day instead of a lifetime.
If it's a control experiment, why bring patients with children or elderly people who don't have any medical condition? What if they had decided not to drink the cocktail? What if they had decided to not go on the secret trip? Wouldn't it be a waste if the patients die without seeing the results of the medicine that were provided to them, like dying in a cave or being murdered? Isn't it dangerous to have someone already on the beach? What if he tried to warn the people who were entering the beach in the morning? Wouldn't he start aging already by the time they arrive? Why bring so many families at once?
We should separate the pure medical subjects from the mental illness subjects. Our violent schizophrenic patient cost us the data on our blood clot patient.
What if they kill themselves before seeing the results?
Those kids went home. They don't matter. Now, those kids are fine.
You could play with them.
Why are you running this super secret organization behind a tourist hotel? If they are not patients, why bring these people? They provide the notebook to the police.
All 3 are missing persons.
Awesome. Great. Fantastic.
My name is Trent Kappa.
I'm Maddox Kappa.
Trent and Maddox escape through the corral at the end of the film, but the corral will only protect them for as long as they are in the tunnel. Once they reach outside and are exposed to normal speed, the same blackout effect should have occurred.
Your aunt will be waiting for you when you land. How's she handling things?
How would you feel if a 50-year-old man called and told you he was your 6-year-old nephew?
Asshole.
But I am anti-message movies. I'm anti... I think that if you come out of a movie with too much of a grasp on what exactly the movie is trying to say, then I think that it fizzles out quicker. I think if a movie is like, feel this, feel this, feel this, as soon as you walk out of the theater, you felt it, you've gone through it, and the process is over. I think that there's a great old saying that the movie starts when the movie ends, and that people start really thinking about it. And I think this movie asks a lot of questions. And I think maybe it has, yeah, I don't think it gives you an exact message, but it asks a bunch of questions of us, of what we are and where we are and time and, you know.
The ending of the film is pretty unambiguous. Is that fair to say?
I guess so. Yeah. You mean like it has an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But everybody knows it's about time, essentially. And the two that my wife and I sort of argued about after the screening is the message kind of like, hey, slow down, appreciate each moment because time is moving really quickly? Or is the message a little bit, hey, time is moving really fast, so you better accomplish everything you need to accomplish? I'm curious where you are at in your stage right now.
Definitely the first of those. You know, I think it's, you know, when we try to hurry up to accomplish something, we're trying to beat time. We think of it as a race. Like, I mean, accumulate all these points.